Our first half team. I thought it was a good both half team defensively, and that's the identity of what we are until we get more comfortable with each other on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, we all understand 28% is a ridiculous number defensively. I mean, ridiculous number, and that is a good team we played against. That is a good team we played against, and the Gaines kid, like I said, coming into the game. I mean, you look at 32 points. The kid could play in our league and start on a lot of teams, so he's talented. And but they're in a transition too. They got a lot of new players, but our identity is always going to be how tough we are, how good we are defensively. We've got to become a better rebounding team. Even tonight, even though we out-rebounded them by 7, they were 15 for 52 from the floor. They missed 37 shots, and we only out-rebounded by 7. So we've got to be a better defensive rebounding team because there was a lot of defensive rebounds to be had. But we all know, including me, how good these new guys are. But exhibition games and actual games when it counts at this level is all different. And they all know it. We just explained it to them. These veterans, it's why you have veterans, because they are expected to carry the load until these new guys come on, catch up with everything we're trying to get accomplished and how we're supposed to play on the floor. And like I told the new guys, this season is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And so that being said, they all know how much we need them, and those veterans have made it clear. But I've got to look at them, our team has got to look at them and say, you're ready. Tonight they weren't ready. They weren't ready. I mean, the game was moving at 100 miles an hour. They were moving at about 70 and behind the whole play. And but that's why you have veteran players. They're expected to carry the load. Offensively, we played better in the second half, but we didn't turn the ball over as much. I stuck with those veterans a little bit longer than I wanted to. And I don't want to play Alan Payne, Frankie Sullivan, Rob Chubb 35, 37 minutes a game. I don't want to do that. It's not fair to them over the course of this long season. That's why we have this depth. But until these new guys start to understand what we're doing and understand how hard you got to play at this level, then their minutes are going to be sparse until they catch up. So, and the best thing about it though, when I walked into the locker room, every single one of them, including those new guys who probably didn't get the minutes they thought they wanted, they all stood up and went crazy because they all understand that winning's the most important thing, and they know we need them, and they know they're behind right now.
It looked like when you went to the zone, they really had a hard time.
The zone's been good for us. The zone has been a good defense for us since I've been here. You know, the guys understand how much I despise playing zone. But until we can guard that basketball, do a better job of communicating and anticipating instead of reacting on the man-to-man, we're going to go to that zone and go back and forth. I thought we did some good things in man late in the game with some switching and different things like that. But the zone has been good for us since I've been here. And you know, I'm not going to give away the secret to it, but it's looks like a 2-3, but it's a little bit different than just your regular 2-3.
When the games really started to get hot, I mean, did Sullivan, Frankie really take it upon himself to
because we were in zone. You're saying Frankie offensively?
Offensively.
Yeah, he took it on himself, and I told him it's time to get going, Frankie. We're struggling, and that's what you got to be for us. You know, I thought Alan Payne did some good things offensively. I thought Rob Chubb, you know, missed a lot of easy shots, but I guess that's Rob Chubb, isn't it? But unlike last year, when he missed those shots, he'd come up with 2 rebounds and would be out of it and would be a factor defensively. Came up with 15 rebounds. That's huge in a game like this. Huge in a game like this. We need more offensive production out of Noel, and we need more offensive production out of those new guys. But at the same time, they cannot hurt us on the defensive end of the floor, or it's hard for me to give them extended minutes.
Tony, Sullivan looked completely different, just the things he could do than he did last year. How far has he come in just physically being able to do stuff?
He's come a long way. I've talked about that injury he had. It's not the first year back. I mean, he did good last year, but he played at 70, 75, maybe 80% of his capacity. Your legs off of that type of knee injury aren't back under you. Your confidence in your legs aren't there. It's that second year. Well, this is that second year, and he worked his tail off in his rehab. But that's Frankie, and now you're seeing the pop back in the step. Not just a spot-up shooter, but a guy that can create and go attack that rim. But he's got to be there for us. He's got to be our catalyst when things might be going a little haywire. He's the guy that's got to get us settled, him and Josh Wallace, and he's got to go make those big plays for us. Does not necessarily mean scoring all the time, but just make those big plays.
You talk about wanting to see that explosiveness out of Frankie, that dunk at the end. Obviously, you put a nice exclamation point onto your run, but just with the whole knee thing, how nice was it to see him get up like that?
Well, I saw it all summer, and that's why I kept saying Frankie was back. You know, he couldn't do that last year. If he did that in practice, which he could do every now and then, he looked like a 15-year NBA vet. He couldn't jump for 3 weeks. I mean, it was over with, you know. And so now that we saw that all summer long, which is why we were encouraged on what we were expecting from Frankie. This is the type of year I think he can have. I mean, he's an explosive scorer, and now that he's not just a shooter, and he can get by. He's got strength now. He's explosions back where he can finish in traffic over bigger guys. He's setting himself up to have a big year, but so is Rob Chubb, Josh Wallace, and so is Noel. We just need Noel. We just got to have more. We got to have more production, but a lot of that is confidence. He's got to go out there and believe in himself.
Early on offensively, you guys just playing too fast. I mean, a lot of missed layups, a lot of turnovers. You know, more.
No, I don't think so. I thought we want to play fast, but under control off of missed shots, turnovers, or steals from, you know, when we get them on the defensive end of the floor. We want to convert those into some easier plays. Rob got a ton of easy layups in the first half that he missed in transition. Frankie in the transition missed a ton of wide open shots that he'll typically knock down as he really gets, you know, under his legs under him under the course of the season. The turnovers were when I was subbing. When you look back at where these turnovers came from, you know, a lot of them are these younger guys. Just the speed and intensity of this game is the exhibition games. Victory was one thing, like the intensity and the closeness of that Georgia Southwestern game. This game tonight was a whole different level of intensity because that team was fighting for their life, and they're going to have a great year. I mean, they got coach does a good job, and that Gaines kid makes a difference. But I thought we did a good job on their other guys, but. We've got to be better converting in transition. When we get, and we got in transition a lot. But we didn't. I'm looking at points and fast break points. Only 4. This should have been way higher than that. Way higher.
Did you know you were only